Yeah.
Thank you, babe.
You're sweating.
No, it's retinol.
Oh, wow. Look at you. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to our channel. I'm Afiya.
And I'm Rajen.
Today, we're going to be talking about our dating.
Yeah, dating reaction.
Dating reaction.
Okay, so obviously we didn't dig deep before, but we will today. We're going to talk about how everyone reacted to us dating and how we dealt with it, basically.
Yeah.
First of all, obviously we'll start with the big one, right? Let's just start with the big one. Let's do parents first, okay? How did our parents react? So how did your dad react about you dating me?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of knew that my dad might have a problem with me dating outside of my race. Like, that's why I was a bit nervous to introduce Rajen to my dad. And we were having a barbecue at my place, and then my dad came over, and he could see Rajen in the garden, and then he came in, and he was just like looking through the glass and just staring at Rajen. And he just kept staring. He didn't say anything, and he just kept looking. And I was just waiting. You're just waiting for someone to say something negative. You know what's going to come. And it just like turned to me. It was so slow motion. It's like time had stood still. And he was just like, Afiya, he's not black? He's not black? I was like, Dad, like, what is your problem? Like,
To be fair, she should have been equally shocked and be like, what? He's not black? God, what have I done?
Yeah.
While that was happening, obviously I was in the garden flipping the burgers, and I could see what was going on. And all I could see is like hand movement, and then I was like, trying to look good, trying to flip the burger. I don't know how you can look good flipping a burger, but just keeping it, not too much movement, looking sensible, likable guy. Just flipping a burger. But yeah, that was happening.
Yeah, exactly. And I could just see that my dad was just being very difficult about the situation. And then we ended up having like a little argument. And I was just like, Dad, just like, why don't you just go outside, like meet him? Like, what's the problem, sort of thing. You haven't even spoken to him yet, and you're just judging him from how he looks. And then I think that my dad just like wandered outside, and I was like, oh gosh, I need to run out and save Rajen. And I don't know how your encounter was with my dad when he walked outside.
I mean, he didn't see. To be fair, he didn't say anything.
Okay. Said it all in the kitchen. That's why. He's looking through the glass.
Like, we came out, and I was flipping the burger. The thing is, I don't think he was saying anything, because obviously when you came out, he started just kind of carrying on a different conversation with you. It was almost as if I wasn't there. Right. And I was like, to be honest, that's more than what I could ask for. You could be killing me right now, stabbing me or something. So to be able to be in the same vicinity with him, I'm like, all right, cool. I'm good. I'm good for now. Do you know what I mean? But that's what happened, right?
Yeah, that's what happened. And I just think as time went on, and he could see that Rajen was, really serious about me. We were very serious about each other. I think he slowly started to kind of calm down as time went on, because he could see that you were a good person. Yeah. So
when I was living with you, I would be doing like cooking or whatever, cleaning or whatever, and still going to work and everything. So I don't think he could find, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anything wrong.
Exactly. He couldn't find any fault, and he saw how happy you made me and how happy, we made each other.
And the more he could see us every day, or every time he saw us, it's like, okay, he's in the picture, there's nothing I can do. And it slowly warmed up, I guess.
He slowly started to accept that, we were going to be together.
When he was there, like, I don't think there was any conversation between me and Afiya's dad. Like, it was just basically, I know he's there, kind of thing. but it was like that for a long time. And then obviously on the phone, you speak to him, but he wouldn't say anything about me or anything.
Yeah, no.
However, he likes to cook for people.
Yes,
so
yeah.
I think that's his love language. Like he'd like to cook
Definitely.
for people or whatever. So whenever he would come over and bring me food, he would just make sure he'd bring me some,
Yes.
which is nice. I was like, you know what, like, fine, we're not talking right now. Like, we'll talk later, whatever. If he's giving food now, I think that's more than I can ask for, because before I could be in the same room without getting killed. Now I'm getting free food.
Exactly, getting free food. Like my dad's cooking. Like I'm all good. So I think it was just it was just strange, really. At the beginning, but just with time and everything, my dad could just see how happy we were.
Yeah. I mean that's very pleasant. You know what I mean? Because obviously not everyone gets to have that experience, right?
Exactly.
I think it was really nice, and then I think my side was a bit different, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean with my side, so I didn't tell my mum for a little while, not too long, but for a little while. I told my dad. I don't know exactly when I told him, but it was like, I think when I was seeing you more. And obviously if I'm going to stay over, it's like I wasn't going to be the person to say, oh yeah, again, how I said before, like I'm not going to say I'm going to stay at my boys and then I stay at Afiya. I'm just going to say I'm staying with Afiya. So I kind of had to say, look, I've met somebody. And I thought, so I had a presumption because obviously him coming from Uganda, I thought, okay, maybe he might be kind of, okay. And then on top of that, so obviously I have dated previously a black girl before, and then I told my dad about it before, and I think the first time he was just like shut down completely. And then the next day, at that time, he came around to it, but then I think he was happy that we broken up.
Right.
So I thought, okay, you know what? Me telling him about you now, do you know what I mean? It should be easy.
Yeah.
All right? And no, he wasn't. He really wasn't. But then he kind of came around and he's like, have you got a picture?
Oh?
Yeah, he said, have you got a picture?
All right.
I think I remember driving at this point. So I just showed it to him, and he's like, oh, prettier than the last one.
That's so funny.
Oh, okay, fair play. You know what I mean? I'll take that. I think my dad was kind of like denying. He's like, yeah, okay, but he probably thought, I think he thought it'll fizzle out like the last one.
Yeah,
definitely. I mean, you met my parents for the first time.
Yes.
How did you find that?
Because your your brother was there, brother's wife and the children, and I'd met them before. It was nice, and it was so they knew how stressed we were on that first meet, and it was so sweet. Like the little one, Rajen's nephew got me like a little bouquet of flowers and just like welcomed me into the house, and I just thought it was so sweet. And so I feel like because they were there and it was a distraction, you had kids running around, everyone talking, everyone catching up, and remember it was a lovely hot day, we were all sitting outside, so it felt like you were just bringing a friend. It didn't feel like serious to them, even though we knew in our heads it was serious. But for them it was like, okay, it's just bringing a friend over, so it's fine. So it felt more at ease. But I felt like your dad was pleasant with me, your mom was pleasant, but I think because they didn't know the seriousness of our relationship.
I think when my brother and them were there and when they gave you the flowers, I don't know if my dad said, oh, what is that for?
Oh, okay.
Just like what? Just why are you giving flowers? And I think it's kind of like, because in his head, I think he might have just said it's just a minor thing, like it's nothing, it's not going to be serious. But I think by giving the bouquet of flowers, you kind of made it like, oh crap, it is really serious.
Yeah.
I also want to say, so I think I remember now when I told my dad, okay, this is, who I'm dating, whatever. And then he said, so he said, okay, well, as long as Afiya gets on with the family. And then, so I struggle with this. I struggle with how we are culturally. And this is going to be obviously a controversial kind of topic, what I'm saying. But there are certain things I don't like when it comes to like how women are ranked, with men. It's like, okay, women should be cooking, men should be chilling in the living room. Those things I just don't like. And then it's stuff like, okay, when the child gets married, that marriage is like, it's not like you're marrying the person, you're marrying into the family. And I strongly disagree with that. And, so I basically said to my dad, no, it's not, as long as Afiya gets along with the family. I said, it's the family that has to get along with her, because I already know you can get along with people. But he was like saying, as long as, so it's like, it's almost, and this is what I don't like, it's almost like you care about what other people think and what the community thinks about the situation, and not actually be like, you know what, my child is happy, that's the main thing, everyone needs to get along with her, otherwise I don't care because my child comes first. And so that's kind of, I struggle with it, the whole like how we do things culturally. So I kind of like take a step back and just do what I want to do. Even now it's like, how women in the kitchen and men, like I cook more than you, I guess sometimes, right?
Yeah, you do a lot of cooking.
Right, and it's like, even if you say, let me give you a massage, like if I've had a long day at work, I struggle.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, like I don't, because I don't want you to let me do, like I want to change things, but I kind of do things a bit too extreme. I'm like, I take nothing from you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you can be like that.
But then I didn't say, okay, so with my mom, I told her like a couple of months or something. I told her a little bit later because I thought she's just not going to respond well. So I told her, but then she just made like a sound. And I'm like, well, why are you making that? This. Okay, well then I was like, why are you making that sound for? Like, and then, she's like, the thing is obviously, so I'm not very fluent with Gujarati. So when she was saying things, I'm like, what do you mean kind of thing? But then I think I was just getting really annoyed that I just kind of left it and I thought, okay, I'm not going to argue. I'll just show it to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I understand that, but I didn't know that's what happened. Like that's that's a surprise to me.
And then, but then we had a few. So okay, so when you would come over at a later date or whatever, when you come over and chill, and my parents, because we're trying to show, okay, look, we can hang with you and we can be in a relationship, and everyone can get along. But then I remember my mum would sit next to me, and then she'll start talking to me in Gujarati and say, oh, but what about your ex? In Gujarati, she's telling me in Gujarati, oh, what about your ex? And obviously she doesn't know about my last one, but she knows about previous one that, were Indian. And I'm like, what? Like, I just got really, really upset and disrespected because not only you bring this up, but you're bringing it up in front of you.
Yeah, exactly. And I knew, obviously I couldn't understand what you were saying, but I knew that something bad or something upsetting was said because I could just see the tone in your voice and how you would be and how upset. And then it was like, okay, we just have to leave. And, would be sitting at the parents' house. And then, sometimes his mom would just come out with something. And then it was time to leave.
Because I'd be like, babe, let's go.
He would be like, let's go. Because
and then she'd be like, why are you going?
Why are you going? Like, I don't understand why you're leaving. And then his dad would be like, don't leave. Like, we just need to go because we didn't want the situation to escalate.
The thing is, like, I feel like I've, been the happiest that I've ever been, ever, by being with you. So then to take away a little bit of it, I'm not doing this. Like,
exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it was just so difficult when those outbursts used to happen and we just had to leave his parents' house. I mean, when I met Rajen, I mean, I knew there was a possibility that, you know, his parents would not accept me, you know, being from his background, his culture. And yeah, I always thought one day when I get married, I'll have, you know, a mother-in-law, and I'll have like, you know, extended family, and it's going to be so amazing. I always had this like, you know, image in my head. And obviously it wasn't working out like that. And it was really, really difficult for me to take. And it felt like I'd just been rejected. And it was just such a knock in my confidence and how I felt, you know, as your partner. It was so hard. And sometimes you know, when that would happen, I would just get in the car and I would just cry. I would just cry because I just felt so bad. And I felt like I just didn't have any control of the situation. Yeah. And I could see how upset Rajen was. You know, it was just really, really difficult when that used to happen. And that was like when we'd been together for months, like months had gone by, 6 months, 7 months. Yeah. You know, it was a very, you know, established relationship. Yeah. But I think it's when they noticed how serious we were, that's when these, you know, arguments or outbursts would happen. Yeah. So
and then my parents would call and be like, oh, so you know, like my mom will just like kind of pretend that never happened and be like, why, you know, you've not been here for a couple of weeks, you know, why have you not come? And I'm like, well, what did you say though? On the, you know, when we were there, like that was really disrespectful. Like what the hell? And she's like, oh, I didn't say much. And I'm like, that is too much. And she goes, okay, I won't do it again. So then I'm just like, so it takes, you know, it knocks our confidence, or is it kind of, you know,
it did,
you know, it just doesn't put us in, it doesn't make us feel positive about going back to my parents.
Yeah, exactly.
But we pluck up the courage to go back. And then she does it again.
Yeah. And then it would happen again.
Like after a month or two.
Yeah, like months would go by. Yeah, a month or two would go by. And then we'll all just be sitting down, eating, happy. And then all of a sudden, another outburst would just happen. And it was just like, oh my gosh, I can't take this. Like mentally, it was mentally draining me. Yeah. And Rajen could see how it was affecting me mentally. And, you know, it was just trying to minimize going there and being exposed to that just in case, you know, she has another outburst and say something.
Or saying something that's...
that's inappropriate or disrespectful towards our relationship and what we have. Yeah. So it was, it was really hard when that used to happen. Really hard.
And so then we wouldn't go over like as frequent, and then obviously my parents would be like, oh, so you know, obviously they want to see me come over, obviously who wouldn't, but then it's like I can't do it. I struggle because if I go over to, you know, your house, you're gonna say something or gonna upset me or something. It makes it so difficult because like, what am I supposed to do? Like I'm finally happy with where I am in life. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
You know, if I, you know, coming home to you, that makes me happy, and being with you makes me happy. If my parents can't see that, and they probably can see that, but then they just don't want to see that. But it's like, what matters more to you? Like your child being happy, or what everyone else thinks? Yeah. And I bet if everyone else was dead, and it's my parents that existed, and me and you left on the planet, they'll be like, do what you want. You know what I mean? There's no one to think about. Yeah. And that's why I said in previous videos, like, COVID has helped. Yeah. Because we can shut down the outside noise and just kind of just be. Yeah. And just be together without the outside. Everybody just, you know, getting involved and causing issues between us. So I'm so grateful that we met in 2020 in the lockdown. I'm so happy for that. Yeah, I honestly would say to anyone that's kind of in a similar predicament, just follow your heart. Like I just feel like just do what makes you happy. Yes. I also feel like if your parents give you an ultimatum, all right, this is very controversial, but if your parents give you an ultimatum, oh, it's either, you know, that person or us, then it's like whoever's giving you ultimatum, there's something wrong. even if it's your partner giving you an ultimatum, oh, it's either your parents or me, then it's like, why can't I have both? Yeah. So I just think, just follow your heart. Things will work out.
Yeah.
I mean, things haven't worked out in a way for us still.
Yeah.
But
when it comes to family.
Right. But me and you are happy, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, what you got to remember is, whoever your partner is, it's a life or death situation. So you have to choose your partner wisely, because your parents will go.
Yeah.
One day.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
You know?
Touch wood, whatever. Your parents go. And you have to live with whatever decisions you've made. Yeah. So if you've chosen the partner that you're happy with, just be happy. And then, you are the next one in line. So, do you know what I mean? Like, I come home to you every day after work. You make me happy. Like, I'm the happiest I've ever been. So, really, you're blessing my life. You're making me happy.
Yeah, exactly.
But, you know what I mean? If you just be like, oh, I'm going to choose someone within my own culture because I have to and all this, and even if it makes me unhappy, obviously, if you want to be with someone within your own background, that's fine. But if it's going to make you unhappy, then, like I said, it's life or death. So if you make the wrong decision, it will shorten your life, because you'll be stressed out. And stress is the biggest killer.
Stress really is. And it's true. Just making the right decisions and doing what's best for you and doing what makes you happy. I know it's easily said than done. I know it's hard for many people to step outside the box and to, date outside their race, venture out. It's very hard for a lot of people, and I totally understand that. But I think in life, you have to do what makes you happy, at the end of the day, because it's your life to live. And I just think that's
how did you? Okay, so we'll talk about all that more in depth later on, like how to tackle parents and all that. If you've got, what are your views as well?
Yes.
Obviously, what I've been saying, what we've both been saying, can be controversial. So you might disagree. We're not here to offend anybody. We're just trying to say what we've experienced. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, what have you experienced? What are you experiencing?
Yeah.
If just drop in the comment down below. But how did your friend take it?
Friends, oh well, I mean, when they saw that me and you were getting quite serious, I found that a lot of friends weren't interested, and they slowly started to distance themselves away from me. I don't know if it was because I found happiness or because, I've met somebody from a different culture, race, background to myself. I don't know what it was. But I remember going out with a friend. We met up because I hadn't seen this friend in a long time. And she just kept making comments about me being with somebody Indian constantly. The whole dinner, it was all very weird, and I couldn't understand as to why she kept doing it. And then, for example, there might be you might see a black woman might walk into the restaurant with an Asian man, and then she'd be like, oh look, there's you and Rajen. Oh look, there's you and Rajen. I'm like, what is going on? And I just feel like she had a real problem. This friend had a real problem with me dating Rajen, and I just thought it was just very strange, and I couldn't understand it, because I was always very happy for this friend. I loved seeing her happy, but when I was happy, it was like, oh no, you can't be happy, you're crazy. That's how it felt. And slowly our friendship started to fizzle out.
You see people, like, if they're really genuinely happy for you.
You do.
I do believe everyone's got good heart, but then also, guys, we're in UK, the second most miserable country in the world,
exactly.
Right? Do you know what I mean? So misery loves company, but everyone's miserable. So if you're having a good time, it's like, well,
you're having a good time? No. Yeah. So that was really difficult, seeing how seeing like close friends and close people around me, and how they started to just react towards my relationship.
I mean, I had a group of friends, no longer now, but obviously when we were talking, dating a black person, you really have to educate yourself.
Yeah.
You can't just be like, yeah, okay, I find you attractive, I'm just gonna, do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You really have to educate yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And it was difficult when people don't educate themselves. And obviously, we've all been there, because what I know now, I didn't know before. Do you know what I mean? So you have to, take the courage to learn and educate yourself. But these guys weren't doing it. And so then I was struggling to connect with them, or they might say something that was a little bit offensive or something. And I just had to step away.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to step away from people that are just draining your energy and not making you be your best self. I think you just have to put yourself first. And, certain friends, and family members sometimes, or, mainly certain friends, when they are being very negative towards something that you're excited about, very negative towards, your new relationship, it's best to just step away for your own sanity.
Yeah.
I think so.
With my extended family, my dad, I don't know if my dad I think my dad did tell people that I was with you, but some of them still haven't met.
Yeah.
Still haven't met
That
you.
is true.
Because the thing is, I'm this is my safe haven, this home, we're living with her, that's it. I don't want to bring any potential negativity into my little bubble.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm like, if I feel like you're gonna be, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I'm just not, people want to be close knit with family and all this, but sometimes it's like they don't have the best interest at heart for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They don't. They really don't.
So you kind of have to just be like, let me just do what's best for me.
Yeah.
Family is not, who you're related to at times, it's kind of who you choose.
Yeah, who you choose.
And if people are happy for you genuinely, they could be your family.
Yeah.
If families aren't happy for you, they could just be your enemies or friends or something. Do you know what I mean? And you kind of just have to do what's best for you. We've spoken for quite a while as well.
Yeah.
And we haven't even touched up on how people felt when we got engaged.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, we'll definitely go a little bit more into that. How people felt when we actually got engaged and people's reactions, family, friends. Yeah, we'll definitely get a lot more into that.
Yeah, what are you guys experiencing? Whoever's watching this, if you're in an interracial relationship, even if you're not, and then your families are just not accepting because you might be in a different caste or whatever, what are you experiencing? If you put it in the comments down below, we'd love to hear your stories, your thoughts.
Definitely.
I apologize if I offended anybody, obviously because we said what I said was kind of controversial. So I'm not trying to, offend anybody. We're just kind of just talking from our experience, right?
Yeah, we're just talking from our experience.
Yeah.
And we just want to connect with you and talk to you if you've been going through anything. So, we just want to connect.
And tell you our experience, really.
Yeah, talk about our experience.
Yes.
Definitely.
Those of you who subscribe, thank you for watching. Those of you who are new, thank you for watching. And we hope to see you again.
Definitely. Thank you. Until next time, guys. Bye.